Hello, and welcome back to our channel. In our recent episodes, we've discussed chronic fatigue syndrome and long COVID, exploring the fascinating hypothesis: what if chronic exhaustion could also be a learned response by our body? It's time to go deeper. We're connecting the dots. How does the evolution of our immune system fit into this picture? And most importantly, if this condition is learned, how can we unlearn it? Let's recall sickness behavior. That deep feeling of illness when we have an infection. It's not simply fatigue. It's a complex program controlled by tiny messenger molecules called cytokines that influence our brain, particularly the microglia, the immune cells in the brain. They create this state that forces us to withdraw, to conserve energy for defense. This program is evolutionarily ancient and brilliant. But what happens when this program remains falsely activated? When cytokines keep firing, even though the original threat is long gone? Here comes an exciting perspective we've already hinted at. Our body is built for a completely different world, for the harsh Stone Age, where real, life-threatening dangers were commonplace: predators, hunger, injuries, infections. Our immune system and nervous system evolved in this world, where a permanent high alarm threshold made sense. But today, we live in the safest, most sterile, most comfortable environment of all time. Real physical threats have become rare, but our system is still set to alarm mode. And when it finds no real dangers, it seeks new ones. A stressful email, a packed schedule, a social obligation. For our brain, these can trigger the same alarm as the saber-toothed tiger once did. Studies show the stress system and the immune system are plastic. They learn from experience. Where danger lurks, if the body never experiences real threat, the threshold for alarm can drop. Harmless stimuli like physical exertion, certain sounds, or even internal body sensations can be falsely classified as dangerous. This is exactly where misconditioning can emerge. Our alarm center in the brain, the amygdala, links a harmless stimulus with the intense reaction of sickness behavior. A kind of false alarm program develops. The amygdala sounds the alarm, microglia are activated, cytokines are released, and we feel sick even though no illness is present. The system has learned to respond to harmless signals with an emergency reaction. Think about the concept of prediction error, the forecasting error we know from learning psychology. When our brain predicts danger but it doesn't occur, a negative prediction error emerges. This error is the signal for relearning. But conversely, when the brain predicts danger and then symptoms occur, the prediction is confirmed. The pattern solidifies. In chronic fatigue and long COVID, it can happen that the fear of deterioration, of the crash, actually triggers the physical reaction, a self-fulfilling vicious cycle. But the good news is, what has been learned can also be unlearned. This is the neuroplasticity of our brain and the learning capacity of our immune system. The key lies in showing the system again and again the alarm was false. The stimulus is not dangerous. This is the core of so-called deconditioning. It's about interrupting the automatic chain of stimulus, alarm, symptom. How? Through new experiences that provide the brain with negative prediction errors. Experiences where the feared crash doesn't occur or is milder than expected. This is often the most difficult part because it means exposing yourself again to stimuli you've long feared. But it's not about blind pushing through or ignoring symptoms. It's about a measured, careful approach. And above all, it's about a particular inner attitude: serenity. Serenity here doesn't mean suppressing or trivializing symptoms. It means perceiving the symptoms, but internally removing their drama.
Instead of falling into panic, fear, or anger, "Oh no, not again," we practice adopting a neutral, observing attitude. Okay, there's that feeling again. It's allowed to be there. I'm not giving it additional energy. This attitude may seem small, but neurobiologically it has enormous impact. It signals to our brain, particularly the amygdala and prefrontal cortex, there is no real danger. We calm the overexcited alarm center. Every time we manage to remain serene instead of panicking, we create a small negative prediction error. Our brain learns the fear was unfounded. Approaches like the Gupta program or DNRS are based exactly on this principle of neuro-relearning. They guide those affected to actively practice this serenity and reevaluation of symptoms. It's training, like learning a new language or musical instrument. It requires repetition, patience, and kindness toward yourself. This approach by no means suggests that chronic fatigue or long COVID are just psychological. No, the physical reactions are real. The cytokines are there, the microglia are active. But the cause of this activation in this model is a misdirected learning pattern, not an ongoing infection. It's a physical reality triggered by a faulty interpretation of signals by the brain and immune system. The science of psychoneuroimmunology supports this understanding. Studies show how mental states and exercises like mindfulness can influence brain activity and even immune markers. Robert Ader's pioneering work demonstrated that the immune system is conditionable. And newer studies on limbic retraining programs show promising results for related conditions like fibromyalgia. The path of relearning is not always straightforward. There will be days when it feels impossible, phases with setbacks. But every small moment of serenity, every experience where the expected deterioration doesn't occur, is a seed for change. It's about showing the body step by step. You are safe. You don't need to fight. You're allowed to relax. By learning to change our reaction to symptoms, we regain a piece of control. We transform from passive victim to active participant in the healing process. And even if complete remission takes time or isn't always possible, the ability to maintain serenity can significantly reduce suffering and improve quality of life. What's your next step? Perhaps begin by mindfully observing your symptoms and your automatic reaction to them, without judgment. Become a benevolent researcher of your own system, and try practicing serenity in small moments of daily life. It doesn't have to be a big program, a conscious breath in the supermarket, an internal, it's okay when fatigue arises. Every small step counts. This hypothesis offers hope. The hope that we don't have to be trapped in this state forever, that our learning-capable body can also learn to be healthy again. If you'd like to learn more about this fascinating interplay between brain and immune system, or want practical tips for relearning, subscribe to this channel. Share this video if it could help someone, and let us know in the comments what you think about these ideas. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and above all, stay optimistic.